Disclaimer. This is me from the future of the video, forgetting to tell you. Disclaimer. If you don't like birth talk and like talk about birth and birth matters, go ahead and watch a different one of my videos. I have many more fun, less serious videos you can watch. But I am happy you're here. But we are going to continue, and you're going to hear birthy words. You've been warned. Who's that? Who's that? See me see. Oh. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I've decided to share with you my little fifth baby's birth story. She was my fourth natural birth after an emergency C-section, which was my first birth. It was an emergency. I say that because there were so many things that could have been done to prevent the C-section, but as a first-time mom, I trusted everything I was told. And I figured I knew nothing, and it was just the way it ended up going. I'll have to share that birth story with y'all sometime. But today we're gonna talk about Maristella's birth story. She is 4 months old this month, so it's a long time coming. She was my second home birth, and still an experience that I highly recommend. If you are not happy with your hospital experiences, go for a home birth, try it. They're very safe. There are so many things done to prevent emergencies and protocols. Most midwives will not see you if there are any kind of complications. You know, past 28 weeks, if there's something that's worrying the midwife, they're not going to deliver you at home. They're not negligent, and they're definitely not going to put their career on the line just to say that they delivered one more baby. So I think it is a great route. So with Maristella, I had switched midwives. Maristella was very different. She was baby number 5, and she was my first to go overdue. And I thought, certainly, my fifth baby, I will not go overdue. I was due on my husband's birthday. He was so excited. And I began to get contractions, I think, the day before his birthday. And I was like, all right, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And then his birthday came and went, and we did not have her. Yes. You wanted to come on your own, huh? Yes. So fast forward 4 days. There had been 2 days of prodromal labor where contractions started and didn't go anywhere. So on the day she was born, I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning with some contractions, just very few, and very little movement from her, which scared me. So I woke up quickly. I felt for movement. I did all the things, you know, lay on her side, eat or drink something sweet or cold. And I started to feel her move. So I was like, okay. And then I realized that I was having contractions. Yeah, I was having contractions. You wanted to come. And so, those contractions started. They were not timeable. They were about 25 minutes apart. And the difference with these is they were far apart, but they hurt so bad. The kind that I had to stop and pretend like I was breathing through a straw. And I would get through them, and they were fine. So catch-22 here is the day she was born was Micah's first day at his new job. So when he woke up for work, I was going to say, don't go in, because he'd been wanting this job for a long time. So I had to kind of suck it up and know that I might be in labor for a little bit with him gone, but thank God this new job of his was very close. His old job was almost 2 hours away, and that was without traffic. So we were thankful to have a job where he was close enough that if I did go into labor, he could get home quick. So he goes to work, and I decide, you know, I'm not going to sit around and wait just to be in labor. This is probably not it. I was so disappointed in my body. I've never been there before. I've never gone overdue, and I feel for you women that have gone overdue. Like, I didn't know that my body was capable of doing that. But with 3 of my babies, I got the membrane sweep at like 38 weeks, and always went into labor like within a day. And I thought, you know, that's what my body did. But most midwives don't do the sweep. They want you to do as much natural as you can, because when you start doing things that your body's not ready for, then it can cause complications. It doesn't always, but it can. So they want to like have the best success. So they're not going to try to push you to do something when your body's not even ready. So I was in denial. I said, you know, I'm not going to go into labor today. There's no way today is going to finally be the day I'm going to be pregnant forever. And it's funny that your mind can play with you that way. Because I've heard women say, like, I feel like I'm gonna be pregnant forever. And no, you really do. You're like, well, this is it. This is my life. Which obviously the same, you know, the person who's not pregnant understands that's not true. But for you, it feels true. So I decided to take my kids on a walk. We took this picture. There's not a day has passed that I've ever said, I wish I wasn't a mother. Like, every day is wonderful, and every day has its hard parts. Every single day. But at least we've got these joys to bring us so much joy. So we go on a nice long walk, and I do my, like, walking where you walk as far apart as you can. Walk, 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 walk. And I'm walking funny, and I'm making my kids walk funny with me, like follow the leader, and you know, nothing's happening. And leading up to this, I was walking up and down hill for like days and hours, as long as my body would like take it, and then I'd walk home. I had to like drag my dog behind me because she didn't even want to walk with me anymore because of those walks were so intense. So we get home, I let the kids take a little break, and then I'm like, you know, we need dog food. We cannot wait to get this dog food. We need it tonight, so we might as well go now. What am I gonna do? Wait for Micah to get home? Wait for my husband to get home? No. So we went ahead, went to the grocery store, and once again, all my contractions were still like 12 to 25 minutes apart, and it wasn't timeable. And they all hurt so bad. And I told my midwife around 11, and I was like, you know, I've been having these contractions. They hurt. And she's like, yeah, but well, can you breathe through them? And I'm like, or she's like, can you talk through them? And I'm like, no, I could not. Like, they stopped me in my tracks, and they hurt so bad. So anyways, we go to the grocery store, get all the things. I'm in labor, obviously. I don't know. I should know. I mean, baby number 5 here. So we get home, and when we get home, we get a knock on the door. And it's our deep freezer that my mother-in-law had ordered for me and my husband. We've wanted one for years, but I'm such a stickler for saving money that I'm like, no, we cannot, this isn't worth it. We could pay a bill. We could pay, you know, a little bit extra on a bill or put it in savings, but to buy a deep freezer just because we wanted one. So she bought it for us as like a shared birthday present. Our birthdays are pretty close together. My mother-in-law texted me saying, you know, your freezer's being delivered. Do not try to move yourself. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, I see this guy, this UPS guy, carrying the deep freezer off of his truck. I'm like, if he can carry it, surely I can push it. Yeah, I could. It wasn't too heavy. So here I am with contractions every 12 to 25 minutes apart and pushing dang deep freeze through my house, out the back door, onto the patio. Like, it was a lot of work. But in the very back of my head, I'm like, I need to get this baby out. Like, I'm not gonna just sit and do nothing. Anyways, I moved this deep freeze. I'm still texting my midwife, and she's like, well, do you want us to come? And I was like, no, I don't. She, mind you, is an hour and a half away. She's an hour and a half away. So I'm home alone with the kids in labor. Not really, you know, I don't know. Do not call it active labor if it's not like super close together. I don't know. So she's like, take a bath and see what happens, which I've always heard, and I've never known what that meant. So I take a bath, and easily within, you know, a 30-minute bath, I have 3 contractions. And I text my mom, or I think I called her, and I'm like, I'm taking a bath. The contractions still hurt. What is this bath supposed to do exactly? Is it supposed to make me feel better? Is it supposed to make the contractions stop if I'm not in labor? Because I'm still getting these contractions. And she's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure if it's not the real deal, it's supposed to like calm your body down and stop you. But it didn't. So I was getting pretty fed up. Like, the midwife didn't seem like I was in labor, and so obviously I wasn't, but really I was. And it's just so many mind tricks. So I get out of the bath. It's probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Husband's still at work. I'm texting my mom all through this, and my sister, and she's praying for me. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if this is real deal. So finally 2 o'clock rolls around because these contractions aren't stopping. They're still so painful. And I get I get my little labor ball out, and I have to get down on my knees and lean on the ball and kind of like roll back and forth. So I'm rolling back and forth and moving my hips through the contractions all by myself. And it's funny because like my kids are playing in the living room. I'm like, hold on. And I have to like run to my room and get on all fours and do this. So my mom shows up about 2. And so I learned a trick. If you watched my last video. All right, sorry. So anyways, I remembered from my labor with Owen, which was 12 hours, baby number 4, that the midwife taught me to lean up against a wall, like straight up against a wall, and during contractions to lift your belly up, and it kind of lifts the baby and tucks it into the pelvis where it needs to be so the head can engage. Because if the head's not engaged into, I guess, the cervix, the pelvis, then it doesn't push it to open it up. So it doesn't do it properly. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try this. And I couldn't quite remember how to do it the right way. So I looked it up on my phone. And there in the disclaimer it says, do not try this without a medical professional nearby. And I'm like, yeah, right. This is what's gonna work. No. So I started doing this, and it's about 2:30. My mom had just gotten here and she was with the kids. And so I did this thing, and I did it twice or 3 times. And all of a sudden, contractions started coming, 2-3 minutes apart coming. And I was like, oh no, what did I do? Like, my husband's not here. My midwife's not here. My mom's here, but she's gotta watch all 4 of the other kids. So what am I gonna do? So I kind of put up with contractions for a while. I was 100% like normal in between contractions, which is just so funny to me. And so I'd be talking to my mom, chatting, laughing, and then I'd be like, hold on, be right back. And I'd run to my room, have a contraction, and then I'd come back out and talk to her and like resume. And it was all fun and games. I called my husband, I think 3:30, and I was like, hey, can you maybe come home soon? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I told him, I think I'm in labor. Will you please come home soon? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I'm having these contractions. They're getting closer. There's no midwife. The midwife was saying, do you think you need me to come? And I was like, I don't know. And so finally at 4, they're coming so quick and so fast. And that's my hard part about this midwife is like, I need to be babied when I'm in labor. Like, I want someone being like, I'm on my way. I'm coming now. I don't care what you say. I've done this a million times. Where that was the hard part with her, was she was just like, do you think you need me to come? And it's hard for me to commit and say, yes, come now, because I don't want a midwife coming and waiting on me for 6 hours or something ridiculous like that, which it's their job. It's what you're paying them for, but it's still hard to have anybody wait on you. At least it is for me. So finally I sent her this picture of the contractions, and she was like, I'm on my way. Who's there with you? And I was like, my mom. So about 30 minutes passed, and I called Micah. I finally called him on the phone. I was like, hey, where are you? And he's like, I'm still at work. And I started crying, like, immediately. I was like, I'm gonna have this baby all by myself. My husband's not gonna be here. My midwife's not gonna be here. My mom has to watch the kids. There's no way she can help me deliver a baby. And I jokingly was like, hey, Mom, if a baby starts coming out, do not call 911. She's like, what do you mean don't call 911? I was like, I'm having a home birth for a reason. I didn't decide and go through all this trouble to have a home birth and then have an ambulance come get me. Like, I don't want a bunch of firefighters in my bedroom while I push a baby out. Like, I would much sooner not. So about 20 minutes pass, and I see Micah like flying to the driveway, and he like jumps out and comes running in, and I am so relieved. Like, I'm okay. I can have this baby now because my husband is here. He's been through this with me 5 times. I'm sorry, he'd been through it with me 4 times. This is gonna be the 5th time. And I felt okay. Like, I didn't feel confident that I could deliver my own baby. Like, I don't think I'd have the mindset to catch it. I don't know. It feels like you're breaking, so it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, let me go ahead and deliver my baby too. I need help with that part. So he got here, and I felt all better, and he kind of just talked me through the contractions, and he put on my playlist and turned on, I had like an essential oil diffuser I wanted just for the baby, because I like picking a smell for each baby, and that way it reminds you of the good time. I did that in the hospital, and I remember the staff would come in and they'd be like, why does this room smell so good? And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to have that here. So finally, it's getting bad. I'm stuck in my bedroom because I definitely cannot get up in between contractions. And a midwife comes in that I've never met. She's like, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm here. And I'm like, okay. And she's just watching me. And I'm like, do I still need to time these contractions? And that's the hard part for me, is just being watched. Like, I'm waiting for them to be like, no, you're doing that wrong. Like, try this instead, which I would happily take. try this instead. But nobody does that. Maybe I need someone that does that. Actually, my last midwife did that. So if I am blessed with another baby. Anyways, so I'm on this ball and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, well, what's comfortable? And I was like, nothing's comfortable. And so she just kind of watches me, and I'm still on the birthing ball and like giving contractions. And I was trying to ask her, you know, for advice of what she recommended, because I didn't know that I wanted to give birth on all fours. So she's there, and then another midwife shows up, and I'm like, okay, 2 midwives. And then another midwife shows up, which is my midwife. And she's like, okay, let me check you. I think she checked me, and she's like, okay, you're ready to go. But I need you to lie in the bed. I told them I had to have a cervical lip. So anyways, she checks the cervical lip, which has been stuck on the head of 2 of my babies so far. And she's like, yeah, it feels a little stuck. Let's lay you on your side with, you know, a bunch of pillows in between your legs. So I did that, and that is excruciating to just be laying on your side while you're in labor. So I did that, and finally I turned over. I don't know what the deal was. I ended up on my back in the bed giving birth like it was in the hospital. I hated it. The whole time I hated it. But I didn't have, first of all, the energy or the words to say, like, can we try something different? Because I would have needed someone to like physically pick me up and move me into a different position. But it hurt, and I had to like hold my own leg up and silly stuff like that. Like, this is the reason I did a home birth, guys. I don't want to be in the bed. So it hurts. It hurts so bad to be in the bed while you're in labor. So anyways, I start pushing, and Micah tells me later that the midwife was saying a prayer over me while I was in labor, which is very nice to hear, because my eyes are closed probably most of the time, and I don't see these things, but it is so reassuring to know that someone's praying for you while you're in labor. At this point, my mom is outside with the kids, so in between pushes, I hear like knock, knock, knock at the windows, and I'm like, ignore that, I'm in labor. And they had this door open. My dad shows up, and I'm like, can you please close the door? My bedroom door. Because I don't want my dad seeing me have a baby. I don't know. We're not like that. Like, he can come in and hold the baby and all that, but I don't want to watch me have a baby. Oh, babies are so perfect. I love when they sleep and you can give them all the kisses you want. At one point, the midwife asks my husband, you know, is she a quick pusher? Like, how many pushes does it take her to get the baby out? And Mike is like, it takes a while. And it does. It has always taken me a while. My first baby, I pushed for 2 hours. So, I keep pushing. I feel the water break, which kind of made me panic. And I'm wearing a skirt and like a diaper, I think, at this point. Oh, the things we do for these babies. So they're like, all right, we need to get that skirt off of you because it's sopping wet now. And I get off and I see that like the fluid's clear. Of course, I'm sure they saw before I did, but I'm like, it's clear. That's a good thing, right? Because my water always breaks like when I'm pushing. Or with Owen, my water didn't break. They had to break it when he was coming out to get the cord out from around his neck. So anyways, I push and my water breaks and kind of panics me because I don't like that. That means like, it's time, it's go time, it's real. And so here comes like the mooing. I call it mooing. I moo a lot. Oh, the birth noises. You can experience those birth noises if you want to visit my actual birth video from baby number 4. I'll link that in the description box below if you are so interested. So finally, I know Micah was wanting to catch the baby. He always wants to catch the baby. He's such a sport. And there's like no room up by the head of the bed where I was because I was on his side of the bed for some reason, which isn't cleared, you know, for a bunch of people to be standing. So I'm like, can you move this stuff, Micah, so you can stand next to me? And then I felt bad for asking him that. And I just didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I am not one of those like angry birthers. So I finally get to pushing the baby out. Turns out she got stuck and she had turned as she came out. So they kind of had to push her in, turn her out, and the cord was around her neck pretty tight. So they had to like struggle kind of to get it off. She comes out, and that is that. She was born in the evening, an hour. She was born less than an hour after the midwives got here and about an hour and a half after Micah got here. I labored all day without really truly realizing it, which was kind of nice. I'd rather have a quick labor, but I've heard that the quick labors are pretty traumatic. But she came on her own day. She didn't want to share her birthday with daddy. She wanted to be in between mommy and daddy. But it is funny. Fun fact. All of my girls, not Owen, but my first is born on the 19th. The next one is born on the 20th. The next is 21st, and she was the 22nd. Oh, and Mike is the 18th, so 18, 19, 20, 21. But it's in order, like the oldest starts with the 19th, and the rest like follow suit. It's really funny. Owen is the 6th, I'm the 3rd, so I kind of joke that it's gonna be like 6, 5, 4, 3 or something funny like that. We don't know. We don't know how many children we're gonna be blessed with. We have left that up to God, but we would happily welcome another one. So I hope that you enjoyed that birth story. It wasn't anything too exciting or too wild, but I want to encourage all of you who are maybe thinking about having a home birth that it's totally doable. It's very safe, and the midwives come with all their equipment. I know in Texas and many other places, the midwives are allowed to carry Pitocin, but that is one of the dangerous things about other states is the midwives aren't allowed to carry Pitocin. I don't know why, the state doesn't allow it. But Pitocin is something that they give to help stop the bleeding. And I know with Owen, the midwife gave me a shot right after he was born, and I had no extra bleeding with him. So if you have any questions about home birth, and if maybe you're thinking about it, leave a comment below, and I'd be happy to answer and happy to talk to you about it. This is my 4th natural birth. So if you have any questions about natural births, I can answer those too. If you enjoy this story, I hope that you will like and subscribe. It's fun to share these stories with y'all, and I hope to hear some stories of y'all's, maybe in the comments below. If you had a home birth, please let me know. If you're wanting to have a home birth, let me know. And I would love to pray for you and encourage you that you can do it. Our bodies are meant for this. Oh, a book I highly recommend. I almost have it. It's called Made for This Birth by Mary Hasselstein, I don't know. But it's a very good book, and it's very encouraging to read and know that you are capable of birthing a baby, even naturally. Like, it's doable. It's more than doable. And it's an incredible feeling. Well, I really hope you liked this video. I pray that you have a blessed rest of your week, and I thank you again for watching and listening to me talk for so long. Have a great rest of your week.